So I'm going to share something with you today that is like an advertisement for getting started with carnivore as soon as possible. Now, regular viewers of my channel will remember Annelies Barron. She's a professor of bioengineering at Stanford University. And in my first interview with her, she said this.
You get to a certain age, sort of, you might have noticed, sort of 46 and up, your body now is kind of fighting you. And even if you were somewhat in good shape before age 46, now you just go down.
Now I'd like to show you a study that backs up what she said and gives us a good reason to get started with carnivore as soon as possible if we haven't already. So let's check it out. All right, so we've got here massive biomolecular shifts occur in our 40s and 60s, Stanford medicine researchers find. All right, so if we go down, if it's ever felt like everything in your body is breaking down at once, that might not be your imagination. A new Stanford medicine study shows that many of our molecules and microorganisms dramatically rise or fall in number during our 40s and 60s. Researchers assess many thousands of different molecules in people aged 25 to 75, as well as their microbiomes, the bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live inside us and on our skin, and found that the abundance of most molecules and microbes do not shift in a gradual, chronological fashion. Rather, we undergo two periods of rapid change during our lifespan, averaging around age 44 and age 60. A paper describing these findings will be published in the journal Nature Aging August 14. So I guess that's already been published. We're not just changing gradually over time. There are some really dramatic changes, said Michael Snyder, PhD chair of genetics and the study's senior author. It turns out the mid-40s is a time of dramatic change, as in our early 60s. And that's true no matter what class of molecules you look at. Okay, so this goes on and talks a lot about this study. So I'll link this press release below so that you can have a look for yourself. But I think the key takeaway from this article is really from age 44, there's a dramatic change. And if our bodies are going to go through a dramatic change at age 44 and at age 60, and if you've been in your mid-40s and you're starting to feel a bit of a change, you feel like the wheels are starting to fall off, you feel like you're going downhill health-wise, you're not feeling as alert as you used to, you're feeling more tired than you used to. I know I used to feel like that. And as Annelies put it in the interview, it could start to feel like your body's fighting back against you. Then this is a good ad or a good reinforcement for us to be thinking, okay, well, carnivore is the way that's going to make us feel most healthy. Carnivore is the way that's going to fix a lot of the problems we've been having up until now, whether it's joint pain or whatever. And so it's really a good advertisement to say, you know what, if you're in your 30s, prepare for what potentially will happen in your 40s. Start carnivore now, and you're going to feel a lot better when that time comes, if it indeed does, if you're doing carnivore. And so if you haven't started carnivore yet and you haven't got to one or two of these kind of average cut points, then it's probably a good idea to start thinking about something like carnivore, or at least keto. Get all the processed junk out of your diet. Get all the rubbish out of your diet. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop doing all these detrimental things. And then you're potentially either going to be able to delay that dramatic change that could happen to your body, or you're going to be able to deal with that dramatic change better when it does happen. And so if we have a look through a little bit lower, so we've got the changes that may influence health and disease risk. In people in their 40s, significant changes were seen in the number of molecules related to alcohol, caffeine, and lipid metabolism, cardiovascular disease, and skin and muscle. In those in their 60s, changes were related to carbohydrate and caffeine metabolism, immune regulation, kidney function, cardiovascular disease, skin and muscle. All right. It's possible some of these changes could be tied to lifestyle or behavioral factors that cluster at these age groups, rather than being driven by biological factors. this is something that's important, right? So it could be driven by behavioral factors rather than biological factors. So, if you are drinking every weekend, if you are smashing the pizzas or, all this kind of thing, now's a good time to think about perhaps dumping those things, going on a carnivore diet or at least some kind of ketogenic diet and sorting things out before it gets too bad. So he gives an example here. For example, dysfunction in alcohol metabolism could result from an uptick in alcohol consumption in people's mid-40s, often a stressful period in their life. Yes, indeed. So this is an interesting breed. And again, it's an advertisement. If you haven't started carnivore yet, then it might be a good idea to. And if you know someone that could benefit from this, maybe having a look at this article or talking to them about carnivore might be something that would help them out. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. And if you want to see that full interview with Annalise, check out this video next.